welcome to our live stream tonight. Hello, good evening. I hope you can hear me, you can see me. So, guys, good evening. So, we're going to start our video tonight, our live stream. So, good evening, you're welcome. Thank you so much. So, I'm just going to start. I'm not going to wait so much for people to join the stream. So, as you come up, you are going to join the stream and then you will continue. So I don't want to really waste so much time. Okay. So I'm just trying to adjust my camera. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put a mark. I hope my video is set to public. Okay, so we're going, if you can hear me, please let me know so we're going to have a start line. So I'm going to place the lines while people are coming up, and then I will just mark. So this first line I have here is my shoulder line. So good evening and welcome. So actually this particular tutorial we're doing tonight, someone actually sent it to me. The subscriber sent it on Instagram for us to illustrate here, okay? So the next thing I want to do, from this shoulder, you're going to mark your bust points. For this, we'll use 10 inches, and then the under bust is going to be 13, and then the half cut, we're making a half cut. So the half cut, we'll use 17 for the back. The front is going to be 18. Okay, so good evening and welcome to today's live class. So I'm going to mark all of my lines and then I'll label them for you guys to see. Okay, yes. So the first line we have here is our shoulder line. Then from shoulder to this point is our bust point, and then from shoulder to this point is the under bust, which we use 13, and then from shoulder to the waist is 17. Okay, so these are the measurements excuse me that we're going to be using today. Our bust is 36, our under bust is 30, the waist is 34. So those are the measurements we're going to use, just 3 measurements. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, for like I said, we're drafting the back first. So you are going to come like this, and then you are going to mark your shoulder measurement. So for the shoulder, we're going to use 15 inches for our shoulder. So you divide 15 into 2, you're going to have 7.5. So I'll add like just 1/2 inch to it. And then from that point, you are going to come down by 1 inch. So the essence of coming down by 1 inch is for a shoulder slope. Okay. So good evening and welcome. Those of you that are just joining, please like the video. Chineye, thank you so much, guys. Sabi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to place your tape, your ruler like this, and then you're going to connect that line to the shoulder line. Can you see? So the next thing you want to do, you want to mark your armhole. So how do you get your armhole? So the formula for getting armhole, you can divide your, take your hand and just measure and divide it into 2, or you can decide to divide 36 divided by 6, then plus 1.5. Okay, so you can use that formula. So when you're going to have 7.5, so you're going to mark it like this. So it is 7.5. That is what is going to be our armhole line, which we usually call chest line also. So after that, I'm just going to create a curve like this. Okay, I'll create a curve. So this is our back pattern, like I said. The next thing we want to do, we want to take out our full body measurement. That's how simple it is. So the back of this dress is actually normal. Okay, so those of you that are just joining, you're welcome. Like the video, share the video, I would appreciate that. Okay, all right. So now we're going to divide 36 by 4. When we do that, we're going to have 9 inches. So you come here, so this is 9 inches. You just put a mark here, and then the next thing, we want to add our darts to it. We'll use 1 inches for our dart intake, and then we're going to add 2 inches allowance. So we'll mark it there, and then we're going to come to the under bust like this. Under bust is 30 divided by 4, which is 7.5. We'll mark it like this, and then we'll add our 1 inch dart, and then add 2 inches stitching allowance. So most times this is what I normally do. I always like to do that. I'll just mark it and leave it there. And then the next thing, we're going to come to the waist, which is 34. You're going to divide that into 4 also. So when we do that, we're going to have 8.5. So you add your 1 inch that intake, and then you add the 2 inches stitching allowance. Okay. So when you do that, you are going to have something looking like this. Okay. You're going to have something looking like this. You see. So the next thing you want to do, we want to mark out our dart. So for us to take out our dart, we're going to use our bust pan, which is the nipple to nipple. So you divide that nipple to nipple. So for this measurement is 8 inches. So you divide that 8 inches into 2. So when you do that, you're going to mark 4 inches across all of these lines. Okay. So when you mark the 4 inches across all of those lines, you are going to now use your ruler to connect the lines together like this. Okay. So connect the lines together like this. Like I said, it is a simple dart. So this particular dart, excuse me, you can decide to run this dart up. You understand? You can decide to run this dart to the top. That's if you want it to be a straight dart, or you just want to add it here. Most times when I'm sewing, I usually run my dart to the top. That's just the truth. So the next thing, I'm going to come to this point. I want to mark the back neckline. So for the back neckline, we're going to use three inches. Okay. So when we mark 3 inches, the next thing we want to do, we want to come down by, let's do, because it's actually a high neckline. So let's just do 3 by 2. It's actually a high neckline. And then I am just going to place my pattern curve like this, and then I'll mark that. Okay. So now it now depends on me if I want to take this dart up. I just take it up like this, just mark it like that, just connect it, just join it together. Okay. It's optional. And then for me to take out my 1 inch dart, I'm going to come to this part. I'll take ½ inch to my right and then ½ inch to the left. Okay. So once I do that, the next thing I'm just going to do, I'm just going to connect them, just like bend them into those points like this. So with this, we have successfully drafted the back of this pattern. Okay. So for those that are just joining us, let me show you guys what we are cutting. So you can see, you see the arc neckline. So that's actually what we are learning how to cut today. Can you see? It is a beautiful piece. Okay. Yes, it is a beautiful piece. So it's just a simple. Let me. I wanted to. I forgot that I will draft another one. So let's draft the front of our pattern. Okay. Then the front is going to be a bust here. So the first thing we want to do, we want to mark a start line, which is going to serve as our shoulder line. So it's going to go like that. Okay. All right. So after that, the next thing we want to do, we want to mark our bust points. Okay. So the bust point, like we did earlier on, we use 10 inches for the bust point, and then we use 13 inches for the under bust. And then for this, we are going to add a bust dart. So that bust dart, I'll just use just like 1.5 inches. So I will use 18.5. You know, the back piece we use 17. Okay. So I'm going to take this like this. I will connect the whole of those lines, and then we will label them. Okay. So for those of you that want to register for online classes, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. I'll share the classes that we have with you. So this is our shoulder line, our bust point line, under bust, and then our waist. Okay, or half cut. So the measurement we're using our is 36. Our under bust is 13. Our waist is 4. So those are the measurements we are making use of. Okay. So the next thing we want to do, we want to start marking out our pattern. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to mark our shoulder measurement, which we initially we use 15 inches. So you divide 15 into 2, you are going to have 7.5. So I'll add 1/2 inch to it to make it 8 inches. Okay. So from that point, you're going to come down by 1 inch. So that 1 inch is what we use as our shoulder slope, because our shoulder is not straight, so it is slanted. You can see that like shoulder came down like this. Okay. Welcome. Thank you so much. So the next thing we want to mark our armhole round. So I already explained it in the back piece. So you divide your bust circumference by 6, then plus 1.5. So when we did that, we had 7.5. So you mark the 7.5. So you're just going to mark the 7.5 like this. And then that part is going to serve as our, this line is now going to be our chest line. And then we'll check what we have here. We'll take the midpoint. You come in by like quarter of an inch, and then you are going to create a curve. Okay, so you just create a curve because the front armhole is a little bit inside more than the back one. So this is how it is going to look. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do, like I said, we're making a bust here. So we want to take our dart. So for the dart, so for this we're going to be using a shoulder dart pattern. So for this, we're going to be using our bust pan, which is nipple to nipple. We're using 8 inches. So you divide that 8 inches into 2. So like I said, if you know you want your pattern drafting skills to come alive this year, this is the channel for you to follow. So you come and start following Stylish Naija and you will learn very well. Okay. All right. So the next thing we want to do, we want to come to the top and then we want to mark our. Okay, so for the neckline, okay, I just want to do like a guide. Okay, let me leave it first. I actually wanted to do like a guide, but let's just leave it. Let's come back to our bustier pattern here. Yes, I'm actually going to do a guide because I need it. So for our pattern, for our bust, that isn't 2 inches for our dart. So for the 2 inches, well, you're just going to come to your under and you come in by 2 inches. Okay, so when you come in by 2 inches, you're going to connect that 2 inches to your bust point. That's from the bust to your bust point like this. Okay, so we need it blended. Okay, so when you connect it like that, you can use 2.5. So the next thing, you're going to come down, mark that 2 inches down, and you are going to bring that leg, just draw the that leg, draw down. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do, we want to mark our pattern. We want to mark this up. So we have, so that was why I was saying, so I'll mark 3 inches here. 3 inches is for my neck width. Okay, so for that I'm just going to mark 1 inch. This is just like a guide. I'm just to, because of the kind of neckline I want, so I'm just using this. So you see that I'm marking it with my pencil. Okay, because I want to take a shoulder dart. So from here, I'll check what I have, and then I'm going to get the midpoint of that. So once I get the midpoint, I'm going to extend my dart leg. I'm just going to extend it. So once I extend it, I am going to look for a way to blend this part. You understand? It's not supposed to be straight. Can you see? So you use your pattern curve. So that is why, if you must be drafting pattern, you need to invest in pattern curves. Please buy. Okay, so you can see our pattern is looking good. So the next thing we want to do, like I said, we're adding a side dart. So now we want to take out our full body measurement. So if you are just coming, thank you so much. I said, Vera, thank you so much. Happiness, God bless you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the comments. I appreciate. So now we want to mark our full body measurement. Our bust is 36. We're going to divide that into 4. We have 9. And then we're going to add our 2 inches dart intake, remember. And then we're going to add our stitching allowance. No, we use 2 inches for the front, for the back. And then you come to your under bust like this. You're going to add your under bust measurement, which is 30 divided by 4. We have 7.5. We add our 2 inches intake and then add our 2 inches stitching allowance. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to connect it like this. Like I said, I always like doing this. I don't always like finishing it before I curve it. So excuse me. So this part like this, I'm going to blend this armhole. You understand? I'm going to blend this armhole, let that curve come out. So the next one, we're going to come to those waist part. So for the waist part, we have 34. So we divide 34 into 4. So we're going to have 8.5. We'll mark it. and then we'll add our 2 inches dart intake, and then add our 2 inches stitching allowance. Okay, so when we do that, after that, you're just going to join it like this. Is a simple process. So you join it. So now we want to add our side dart. So for that side dart, so like I said, we are using 1.5 inches for our side dart. So I'm going to come from the under bust, I'm going to come up by that 1.5. Remember the 1.5, I added extra 1.5. So I'm going to connect that dart. I'll connect it to my bust point like this. So let it just blend into that bust area. So but when you're cutting, you're not going to cut it through. So when we cut there, we're going to close here. So before that, excuse me, like seriously, excuse me. So the next thing we're going to do now, let's draft our neckline. So for us to draft the neckline, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use my pencil, okay? So you can see the way the neckline is. The neckline is almost like a Queen Anne shoulder. You understand? I noticed it is like a Queen Anne shoulder. So this, I'm just trying to do like a rough, yes, I'm getting it, like a rough pencil sketch first. So this is how the shoulder part of that neckline came. It blends into like this. I'm just doing a rough sketch first. It blends into this part like this. That's why I always tell you people, learn how to draw patterns. It blends into this part. So I'll show you so that you understand. You can see the curve like a Queen Anne. And then the next thing you are going to do after that, after that part, so the next thing, this one is going to come like this arc. So it depends on how high, you understand, depends on how high I want the arc to be. So this is going to blend into this part like this. So it blended into this part. Can you see? So create our arc. So now after doing this, now you can now work on it and now determine, okay, how do I want? Do you understand? So let me show you guys. I'm just trying to teach you guys how to do these things. You can see, can you see? Just take a good look at your pictures. Like I was telling you guys yesterday, you see this part, it looks like a Queen Anne shoulder. So that's what we already did here. So we're going to measure them. You understand? We're going to measure them. You see it? And then the next thing, this arc now, that's what we try to create, okay? So now we've used our pencil, we have gotten it. So now let's measure so that we can fix it properly, okay? So you first of all use your pencil just to get your rough sketch. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do now, you're going to determine how high do you want this neckline to be, the arc area. So you're going to determine that. So you're going to come to that shoulder part. So we can decide, okay, let's use like 3 inches or 2.5. So for this, let's do like this is like 2 inches. This is like 2 inches. So let's do 2 inches. So 2 inches is going to be here. So the next thing we want to do, 2 inches is going to be there. So the next thing we want to do is how wide do we want our shoulder? Do you understand? So you're going to determine how wide. So that is where this part comes in. So for this now we have about 3.5 inches, okay, which is okay. So that 3.5 inches is okay. So now this is going to be the side we are going to be using. So now after this, I can now take my eraser and then clean out what I don't want. Do you understand? So I'll just clean that up and then I am going to have something looking like this. So this is going to blend into this part. Okay. So this part of my shoulder is looking too slim. So I'll correct everything here now. So I want to correct it. So I'll clean it and then I'm going to come to this part like this. I'll mark here. Here is going to be 2 inches. So now after marking it, I'm going to use I can decide to use my ruler like this. I'll just blend this. I'll just blend this into my shoulder line like that. So the next thing I want to do, because I don't want to cut it here, it's going to be too deep, I'm going to extend my chest line. So my chest line, I can decide to extend it maybe by 1.5 inches, okay? And then I am just going to do this. I'll extend my chest line. So with that, I'm not going to cut it, it's not going to be too deep. So I'm just going to blend this and just top it here, okay? And then I'll create my arc like this. So I've already created the arc already, so I'll show you guys now how to cut this open. So let me use my marker to instead of me to use what do you call it? Instead of me to use pattern curve jejeje. So let me mark this part first. So this now mark this part nicely with my pattern curve. So that's it. So the next thing now, let's cut. Let me show you guys how to cut this. So we're going to cut here first. So I cut it out, I cut it a little bit outside. Then I cut this, okay? So at the end of the day, this part, we're not going to open that part, okay? So I'm just going to cut this like this. And then I am going to cover, close it. So I'm going to close it. So when you close it, most times you're going to have shortage, obviously. You can see it. So you're just going to blend that in. So now you can now cut it nice normally. So now the next thing we want to do, we want to cut our so this, you can actually do this in two ways. You understand? You can actually do this in two ways. You can decide to cut this off, but if I am going to sew this, I think I'll prefer to cut this off and then reattach it. You understand? As a beginner, I will advise you for you to cut it off and then reattach it. But if you don't want to cut it off, you are going to have it looking like this. But this one that was here, it was actually cut off. So when we want to cut it off, let me just, this is how you're going to do it. So you're just going to cut, just take this out like this. So that's all. So this will come back as your shoulder, as a strap. This will come back as a strap that you are going to attach to this part like this. Okay, it's going to come back as a strap. Note, as a beginner, I will advise you cut it off. It actually helps you to balance it when you are sewing. It will help you to balance it properly, and then you sew, you'll be able to attach it and join it together. With that, it's going to be easy. So guys, that is all for today. Okay, so I want to say thank you to all of those people that tuned in. So like I said, this was the back piece. All those people that tuned in into our live stream for tonight, you guys, thank you so much. For those of you that don't know, our live stream have resumed, like I said, 4 times a week: Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday. That's all. The rest days I'm going to be, thank you so much, Christy, God bless you. So the rest of the days I'm not going to be coming up during weekend, okay? I need to take care of myself. I'll go and be doing exercise. So that's what I want to do this year. So thank you so much. God bless you all that tuned in. I'll see you guys on Monday. Yes, I'll see you guys on Monday. God bless you.